mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله الأمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And again, another apology for 17 minutes after the original time due to technical problems as usual. We have a number of questions online, and I'll be expecting your calls inshallah. The first question is for Munira, and she says that she has a number of days missed in Ramadan. And now we're approaching, as you all know, the sacred month of Dhul Hijjah. And we know that the first 9 days, the good deeds are the best in them, and it is recommended to fast them. So, is it permissible for me to join the intentions and make up for the missed days of Ramadan in these 9 days of Dhul Hijjah? And the answer is yes. You may make up for your missed days of Ramadan while fasting the 9 days of Dhul Hijjah. So you would hit two birds with one stone. Mature Rahman, and this is a very awkward name and I recommend that you change it. How much kindness, loyalty should I show to a non-mahram lady who has done great favors to me? I detect, and Allah knows best, that you are a male. So if there is a non-mahram female who had done so many great things to you, we know that in Islam it is not permissible to freely mix and socialize with the opposite sex. So if she had done something good for you, you can be grateful. You can do good things for her in return, but without mixing, without chit-chatting, without intermingling, because this is not permissible. Now, being a non-Muslim is not mentioned here. So she is a Muslim, alhamdulillah, and you can connect with her husband, with her son, with her brother, her mahram, and do kind things to her through them. But never do this on one-to-one basis. And this is a question from a person who is anonymous, and he's asking about madhi, how to cleanse ourselves from madhi, especially after washing it and still find some traces of white color. And madhi, to those who do not know it, is the prostatic fluid that comes when a male or a female are sexually excited. So it's not ejaculated like semen, but it is emitted once a person is excited. And there are two opinions of scholars, but the most authentic is that it is a lesser degree in impurity, in najasa, than urine. Because urine, we have to wash it, squeeze it and wash it again, the clothes that is. In madhi, it is lesser in gravity, in the sense that the Prophet instructed ﷺ that whenever this madhi touches a person's clothes or underwears, he would sprinkle water on it, and that would be sufficient. You don't have to wash it, squeeze it, and wash it again. Just sprinkling the water on it would be sufficient. And likewise, for a person's private parts, he may sprinkle, and the better and the best is to go ahead and wash it. The fourth question is for Verlisi. I presume the name is pronounced right. Verlisi. She's asking, and I presume it's a she, that in Surah Al-Fatiha, it's obligatory to read in prayer. So, if I say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, instead of Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim, is the Surah Al-Fatiha recitation invalid, or is both right? No, it is not both right. The first one is the most correct one, because you have to pronounce it as the Arabs do. When you say Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim, this is not correct because the L here, Al, is known to be Lam al-Shamsiyya. You do not pronounce it as when you say Ash-Shams. There is an A-L-S-H. Yet you don't say Al-Shams, you say Ash-Shams. And likewise with Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. The L is not pronounced and you cannot pronounce it because pronouncing it would be wrong. Dua has a question. It's number 5. What is the reward for reciting every night Surah Al-Sajdah? There isn't any prescribed reward for this. The only reason we are reciting it is because the Prophet ﷺ used to recite it. Now with Surah Al-Mulk, it's a different issue altogether because the Prophet told us ﷺ that this surah, which is composed of 30 ayahs, would defend the person who recites it and knows it by heart in the grave. So it is a protector, with the grace of Allah, from the punishment of the grave. And the Prophet used to ﷺ recite it every night before going to bed. So these are the two surahs. Also Surah Al-Isra, the Prophet used to recite it, and also Surah Al-Zumar. And these are long surahs. So reciting it while being in bed shows us that the Prophet ﷺ would not simply hit the sack and sleep. He would spend a lot of time invoking Allah Azza wa Jal, supplicating to Allah Azza wa Jal, remembering Allah Azza wa Jal, and reciting these surahs as well. Aziz, we have Ila from Saudi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, can I ask one question only? Is it sunnah to fast the 9 days? It is sunnah.
Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. Sister Ila is asking, is it sunnah to fast the 10 days of the first of the month of the Hijjah? And the Prophet ﷺ did not specifically mention this, though there is a hadith that Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, stated that he used to fast them. However, if you look at the general hadith, the Prophet said ﷺ, there are no days better to worship Allah Azza wa Jal in more than the 10 days of the Hijjah. And one of the companions said, not even if a person dies in the sight of Allah. And the Prophet said ﷺ, not even if a person dies at the side of Allah, except if he goes out with his soul and wealth and does not come back with neither. So this means that whatever you do in these 10 days of the Hijjah in form of good deeds, they are better than dying in the cause of Allah, except as the Prophet ﷺ explained to us. Now, the Prophet ﷺ stated that fasting is one of the greatest deeds to be done. Night prayer, charity. He did not say in this hadith you should do this and this and this and this. He just opened it. And this is why the scholars say that fasting the 10 days of the Hijjah, actually they're the 9 days because the 10th is Eid and it's forbidden for you to fast, but you can do other good things. So fasting the first 9 days is part of the Sunnah and it's a recommended thing to do. Maryam from the Emirates.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One is during my voluntary prayers, sometimes I forget whether I'm praying first Sunnah or Nafal. Like what is the intention? I forget that. So in that case, can you please advise me what can I do?
Okay.
And I have a second question. If I see like a bad dream, and it is like concerning to someone who's a very close person, so what should I do about that dream?
Okay. I will answer your questions, inshallah.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Sister Layla from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Yes, sister.
Hello.
Aina. Yes, sister.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have a question. My husband is planning to have to make the Hajj in behalf of his deceased father.
Okay.
And somebody told him that it is, because we are Syrian, somebody told him that it is better for him to give sadaqah under his father's name in Syria than to make Hajj for him.
Okay.
Which one is preferable?
Okay. I will answer the question.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Jazakallah.
Wajazak.
Thank you.
Sister Aisha. Oh, Brother Basha.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, Jazakallah khair.
Yeah. Sheikh, I have a question
Okay.
regarding business partnership.
Okay.
We started a business with 3 people, myself and another Indian and one Saudi gentleman. And lately, they did not show the account of the business to me, and they started doing the business on their own, and they did not show me the account at all. When I asked them to show the account, they said, we don't have to show the account to you. According to Islam, what does it say? They have to show me the account, or they don't have to show me the account?
And this is the only business that you have ongoing, meaning there is a capital and they don't have other businesses involved?
No, with me, this is the only business. They have other businesses, but with me, this is the only business.
And you don't trust them?
Pardon?
You do not trust them?
Because I don't trust them because they did not show me the account, the expenditures and income, all those things.
Okay. I will try to answer your question, inshallah.
Please, thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Rahim. Brother Ibrahim from Nigeria.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, my question is, the last time I watched Huda Oct, someone asked Sheikh Muhammad Salah about pictures, our children's pictures at school.
About what?
Are we going
Pictures?
to remove the pictures?
Okay.
Is it haram or we can still leave the pictures?
Okay.
Pictures, yeah, of our children.
Okay. What did Sheikh Muhammad Salah answer you?
Yeah, I think what because the night went off, in Nigeria, night is not stable.
Okay. I will try to answer your question, inshallah. Hayyak Allah.
Alhamdulillah.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
So I didn't get the answer.
Inshallah.
Yeah, thank you. That's a lot.
وجزاك حياك. طيب. Kamal from Kenya. Brother Kamal from Kenya. Kamal. I think we've lost Kamal. So I will answer the questions, inshallah. Stop the phone calls if possible. Eli from Saudi Arabia will answer the question. Maryam, she is saying that she starts to pray and she's confused whether this is the fard or the sunnah, a volunteer prayer. She doesn't know what to do. The answer is your prayer is not fard, for sure. Because you cannot pray fard unless you intend it from the beginning to the end. So once you have these doubts, this means that consider that to be your voluntary prayer, offer salam, stand up and now concentrate that this is my fard and say Allahu Akbar. Because so many times we do actions without actually thinking of them. A lot of the brothers and sisters say that we answer the call of nature, and after answering call of nature and cleaning ourselves, we get a blackout and we wake up finding ourselves drying our limbs from wudu. We don't remember any intention of wudu. I say this wudu is invalid. Go and make wudu again. This is something out of habit. Therefore, you have to be sure that what you're doing is what you really intend to do, and it's not sufficient that you just do the action without any intention. She's saying that if I saw a nightmare or a bad dream where one of my relatives is being harmed or killed, or definitely when you wake up you feel sad or you feel depressed because of what you'd seen, and therefore it is a bad dream, you should spit 3 times on your left, say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim 3 times, and never tell anyone about it, because it's not gonna harm you. It's not one of the glad tidings that you should be happy with and tell people about. Layla from Saudi Arabia, she says that her husband is intending to offer Hajj on behalf of his father, and someone told him that you should take the money and give it to the Syrian brothers or in Burma or in Palestine. By the way, Palestine, everyone has forgotten it, because all of the media hype is on Syria, and may Allah Azza wa Jal liberate Syria and get rid of this regime in this life and in hell as well. But unfortunately, no one is focusing on Palestine. Now, people are being kicked out and stepped over and deprived from all of their rights in Palestine, and no one is even talking about it. And this is a great problem, a great mistake, because we will never be victorious. We will never be honored. We will never have our dignity back and our honor restored unless we manage to liberate Palestine. And this is not an individual act. This is for the whole ummah. So we have to revive this situation back again. And may Allah grant me and you 2 accepted rak'ahs in the Masjid al-Aqsa. Ameen. So is this right? Well, it depends on the need. If you have donated something to Syria and you have access money to offer Hajj for your father, this is definitely one of the best deeds, because you're getting closer to Allah and you are respecting and fulfilling and offering birr to your deceased father. But if you are able to do it later on and the necessity for the money is now, then in this case, yes, devote your money to the brothers in Syria, especially if your father had performed Hajj on his behalf. If he didn't, yes. If he did not perform his faridah, his obligatory Hajj, then in this case, yes, you go ahead and do it. Of course, providing that you yourself had performed your faridah as well. Brother Basha is asking about his partners, and he does not trust them. Well, see, akhi, once you give your money to someone, and if you don't have things in writing and you do not have everything documented, problems arise. And with money, even the most pious people, if Allah does not make them steadfast, they will become criminals. Because money, the sparkling of the gold and silver takes your mind away. It khalas, makes you lose it. So you have to go back to the basics, first of all. Second of all, there is a possibility that your agreement with them is that you're investing the money and they are the ones who are working for or with the money, which is called mudaraba. So the money is from you and the labor and the thinking and the management is from them, and it was agreed upon you three that you have nothing to do with running the business. So in this case, they have the right not to show you the bookkeeping and the expenditures, because you trusted them. All what you are entitled for is when it comes to looking at the progress report, whether it's annual or every 6 months, and to know what they had invested in your money. And if you are in doubt, just call it off and tell them ma'as salama. Yeah, tell them to give me back my money, or evaluate what the investment is at the moment and give me what's mine. If this is possible to come out, or trust them and put your trust in Allah Azza wa Jal as well and hope for the best. The last question is from Ibrahim. He's asking about the pictures, and I've talked about the pictures a lot on this program. And he said that Sheikh Muhammad Salah, Dr. Muhammad Salah, said something about it. I don't know about my brother Muhammad Salah's opinion. I respect it fully. However, I'm not going to comment on it. And because I do not know his opinion, whether it is permissible for people to use it or not, that is the pictures, I will refrain from answering this question. My opinion is known to the people. And whether you want to follow my opinion and his, out of respect, I cannot negotiate, I cannot talk about, I cannot discuss this opinion now, because Sheikh Muhammad Salah is not here. And he's entitled for his opinion. He's, inshallah, a knowledgeable person. And you may follow what he says, or anyone else, depending on who you trust and who you feel that his justification is more worthy. And Allah knows best. We have Aziz Khan. His question is, what advice can I give to Muslim friends who say we should take out credit cards to help boost their credit rating? Also, even if someone is paying the balance in full and therefore avoid paying interest, is it permissible to take credit cards or not? First of all, these brothers who talk about boosting their credit rating, what is the value of boosting your credit rating to the best rating, rating A, for example? So what's it's going to do for you? And the answer would be, Sheikh, we can buy houses on mortgage, and we can get loans on low interest from the banks. So you actually want to boost your ratings, credit ratings, so that you can borrow in riba, borrow with interest? This is a major sin. It's not a small sin. It's one of the major sins in Islam. Taking interest over loans, or giving it, or testifying on the contract, or writing the contract, anyone who is involved in this process is cursed by Allah Azza wa Jal. And the Prophet told us that they're all equal in sharing the same amount of sin, even the one who registers it. So even the accountant who doesn't have anything, he's getting paid from his company, but he just authenticating it or registering it. Even those two people who are just witnesses, they don't work for the company, they don't share any percentage, but they are just, their names are being mentioned because they are authenticating it or witnessing it. They are cursed as well. So boosting your credit rating is not something that is legitimate in Islam because of the consequences. Now, taking a credit card, whether it's Visa, Diners Club, American Express, MasterCard, Carte Blanche, or whatever companies there are, I don't know them all. If you take it and you say that this is definitely, I'm not going to pass the grace period. Whenever I buy it, I'm going to spend it. I'm going to pay it back immediately before the 45 or the 40 days are over. And you're truthful in this, and you're capable of doing this, still issuing it is haram, except in limited conditions. Why? Because your contract, when you sign it, they tell you that if for 40 days you don't pay off, we will charge you 6%, 7%, 11%, depending on their interest rate. So approving on such a haram issue is like signing on a contract that if you don't pay on time, we will chop your left foot, or we will abduct your children, or we will take your wife from you. And you say, I'm going to pay on time. Akhi, you're signing the contract is approving of this major sin. So this does not justify it. Aisha from the Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have a question. Actually, I heard that when we're visiting the graveyard and we are praying 11 times Al-Fatiha for the dead people, that it will be as if we have read the entire Quran for them. So I want to know if this is true, or is that like a reliable source?
Okay. Any more questions?
Yes, actually, I would have another one, but I'm not so sure if you can cover it actually, because the issue is, okay, me personally, let's say I have found my way. Alhamdulillah, I converted. I want to say that I'm converted. Actually, like my family, they're Alawi. And I want to know, can I actually pray for them, like even for the dead souls? I'm not so sure about that as well. If you can help me on this, would be very, very good.
They're Alawi as in hardcore Shia?
Not hardcore, but not practicing either, to be honest. Yeah, like not practicing Islam.
Okay.
Sadly.
Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sister from Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
I wanted to know, I'm doing something which I know it's totally wrong. I'm keep praying for that. I'm keep offering namaz-e-tawbah. I'm keep offering my fasting. Nothing is stopping me, and I'm asking for that thing. And I know it's totally wrong. Nothing is helping me.
Okay.
I wanted to know what to do. It's a continuously procedure, and I know it's totally wrong thing. And nothing is helping me. Please guide me.
Okay, I will, inshallah.
And please, you just answer about the credit card. If we pay on the time before the interest, it's also haram. Please clarify that also.
Okay, I will, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Jazaki. Okay, Sister Aisha from the Emirates, she's asking that what's the ruling on visiting the graveyard and reciting Al-Fatiha 11 times and considering this to be as if we are giving the deceased a full recitation of the Quran and give him the reward. And first of all, the most authentic opinion is that females visiting graveyards or cemeteries is not permissible. Second thing is this action of reciting the Fatiha 11 times is a great and grave and serious innovation. It is baseless. It is not permissible for you to do. The best thing that you could do for a deceased is to pray for them, to ask Allah for forgiveness for them, to offer Umrah or Hajj on their behalf, or to give money for charity on their behalf. This would all reach, inshallah, to the deceased. As for her second question in regards to her, she's a revert, alhamdulillah, to Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and her parents or her family members are Alawi. Alawi by itself is a sect, a deviant sect, like Al-Nusayriyah, Al-Alawiyah, all of them are deviant sects that do not relate to Islam. So now she's saying that my relatives are not practicing. So a lot of these sects, by name, they are connected to them. But on the grounds, they don't have any relationship to these sects. So if these people who died from your relatives, if they used to pray our prayers on time, and they did not do anything that nullifies Islam, in the sense that they were not conceiving kufr and showing Islam. On the contrary, they were normal laymen, normal people. They used to pray, but did not say anything bad about the Quran, or about the Prophet ﷺ, or about Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Aisha, and the rest of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. They did not say anything bad about them. They did not say haram things to halal, or halal things to haram, meaning twisting the Sharia, the law of Allah Azza wa Jal. They were sinful, but they didn't have anything that nullified their Islam. You can seek Allah's forgiveness for them. Otherwise, you should not at all seek forgiveness for them or do anything that is considered forbidden for those who are non-Muslims. Okay, Sayyida from Saudi.
Yes, Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, sir. I want to ask, my first question is, actually my husband, he does not pray Fajr prayer, and after getting up late in the morning, like 8 o'clock, like that, he prays. And then usually he's not good with me, and usually beats me and uses foul language. And I have three daughters, and I'm very much worried about my daughters. Like, how can I live without them? And what should I do in this regard? Like, I'm very much in tension always, and I couldn't pray, and I couldn't read Quran with like with concentration, all that. So I'm very much worried about my life. What to do, sir? And he always curses me, and every time he's very much bad to me.
Okay.
So in this regard, can you give me any suggestions, sir?
Okay, I will, inshallah. Sister Fatima from Saudi Arabia.
Hello?
Yes, Sister Fatima.
Hello?
Yes, Sister Fatima. Hello, listen to me from the phone, please.
Yes, I am listening.
Yes. What is your question?
My question is, I just want to know, I have some gold which I have got as gifts, really. And I know definitely that it is more than my nisab level of zakat. Now, after giving zakat on this particular gold that I have, am I eligible to give zakat every year?
Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah.
Okay, right. Thank you.
You're welcome. The viewers, I believe that we have a break. Stay tuned, inshallah. We'll be right back.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose whom He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His messengership, for the revelation to be revealed. This is not for the human beings to make that decision. If a person would turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, truthfully, asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to forgive. We have as Muslims a duty, and that is to recite the book of Allah, to ponder over the verses, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act according to the Quran. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses everything, but who would this mercy will be for? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all mankind. So the ummah, or the people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are all mankind since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam till the day of judgment. Why waste our life without getting to know every verse in the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us?
Huda TV is proud to announce the launching of its first loyalty and rewarding program. Huda Fans Club aims at building a one-to-one relationship with our viewers. For an annual fee, club members varying from platinum, gold and silver card holders will be eligible to receive a great range of benefits, services. You will gain access to download versatile programs from educational, dawah programs and nasheed's clips. Also, your club membership card is a backstage studio pass created for those interested to explore behind-the-scene activities. You will enjoy priority when calling into live shows. Also, you can view samples of new programs in production before being aired worldwide. Take this opportunity to join us online and participate in our loyalty program on Huda TV. Huda Fans Club, where fans of Islamic media meet.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Sister that called from Pakistan did not want her name to be revealed. She's asking about a sin, a particular sin that she has been trying to quit and is unable to do this. She always prays to Allah Azza wa Jal, seeks Allah's forgiveness, prays tawbah prayer, and tries her level best to stop, but she's unable to do this. Well, I have bad news for you. There's a very, very big possibility that you're not sincere in wanting to stop. Because if you had the intention, if you went out of your way, seeking Allah's guidance and forgiveness, Allah would support you, Allah would help you, and Allah would make this happen. But when you pretend that you want to stop and you're not sincere in that, Allah says, and this is in verse 46, chapter Tawbah, chapter number 9. Allah says that had they truly intended to march forth to fight, and Allah is talking about the hypocrites, they would have certainly made some preparations for it, but Allah was averse to their going forth, so He made them lag behind. Who made them lag behind? Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? Because they did not take their preparation. They were not sincere in their intention. Who's not making you quit this sin? Allah Azza wa Jal. Why? Because you're not sincere. You're not putting enough effort. So, even if you ask Allah for forgiveness, Allah Azza wa Jal will forgive you if you have it deep down in your heart, that you feel deep remorse, and you're sincere in your repentance, and you intend not to do it. But if you keep on doing it and then say, oh Allah, forgive me, tomorrow I'm going to do it 8 o'clock instead of 7. I have to change my schedule. So you intend to do it. In this case, Allah Azza wa Jal would not forgive you. Ibrahim from Nigeria. Okay, Abdul Fattah from Yemen.
Hello?
Yes, Abdul Fattah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam, akhi. Ahlan wa sahlan.
Sheikh, I have a question.
Okay.
Sheikh, I'm fasting kafara.
Okay.
So today is exactly 25 days of my fasting.
How many days of kafara?
60 days, 2 months.
Okay, so what's your
and
question?
Today is exactly 25 days.
Today?
And I have heard it's not permissible to fast on the Eid day. So I want to know if I'm to drop my fast or should I continue?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Jazakallah.
Hayyakallah. Sayyida is from Saudi Arabia. She says that her husband does not pray Fajr on time. He prays it at 8 or 9 o'clock, and that he abuses her and he hits her. There's a lot of domestic violence and cursing. And she has 3 daughters of him, and she doesn't know what to do. Unfortunately, this is becoming a trend nowadays with those who do not fear Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is why we always emphasize on choosing your spouse, whether female or male. So for the brothers, we always tell them, look at the proper sister and check her out. And not check her out in the sense that look at her and check her out, but in the sense that ask about her, look around, investigate, do your homework. If she is well behaved, she is known for her good character and for her religious commitment, and there are so many positive aspects in her, go ahead. Likewise for the sister, let your father, let your brother go and investigate. Where does he pray Fajr? Is he punctual on prayer? How is he among his friends, his colleagues, at the workplace? Does he fight? Does he curse? Is he abusive? Is he aggressive? Is he vicious? In this case, don't marry him, even if he's the richest man in the world, because his wealth is not going to avail you. He's not going to do anything for you. What you want is someone that you would love to wake up every morning finding him next to you. And this person is not like that. So what to do? Well, you are stuck between a rock and a hard place. See, you have to try and analyze where you are failing, because there are so many cases, sisters complain, and they are the core problem. When I talk to the brothers, I find that their wives are a complete evil. And when I face the sisters, and they admit, so they usually give the wrong scenario. Not all the time. So I'm not accusing sister, what's her name? Sayyida, that she is the evil person. But you have to analyze your life. Maybe there are things that you do, few minor things, that would ignite his anger and rage. So try to suppress this by not opening the subject. Also, you have to bring someone, a third party, who knows you and knows him, and he's wise, so he would listen to the both of you. So you need a Muslim marriage counselor who knows the ins and the outs of such marriages and how he could add value to that. And at the end of the day, if nothing works and the man is as vicious as you're describing, and there's no wrong from your side, in this case, you have to trust Allah Azza wa Jal and choose the long-term benefit, in the sense that if you continue, his abuse is going to continue, maybe escalates to harming you physically and maybe killing you. So it is not logical to continue. And for the girls who you're concerned with, if your husband dies, it's the same scenario. So assume that he's dead, and try to leave him if this is what you need to do. And with this we end, inshallah, our calls. Okay, Ashwaq from Saudi Arabia.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله يا شيخ.
السلام ورحمة الله أخي. أهلا وسهلا.
كيف حالك يا شيخ؟
حياك الله أخي. What can I do for you?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, Sheikh, I have 2 questions. When a person is performing his Hajj, for example, Hajj Tamattu, he is supposed to offer an Utiyah, right, Sheikh?
Yes. Not Udhiyah, it's called Hadi.
The thing, Sheikh, what we do, the people who doesn't perform the Hajj, they give an Utiyah. Is it compulsory for him to give another Utiyah, or just one is enough for him?
For the Hajj, Akhi, it's called Hadi. It's not called Udhiyah. Udhiyah for those who are like us, who are not going for Hajj. Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
The second question is, Sheikh, that we know that Rasulullah offered witr every time, he did not miss it. But I was told that on the day of Muzdalifah, he did not offer his witr. Is it true, Sheikh?
Okay. I will answer your question, inshallah. Last questioner, Sister Humaira from Saudi Arabia. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Yes, I actually want to know about the haram, halal and masbu items. I have seen on internet a site, Muslim Consumer Group. It is a US-based site. I want to know its authenticity. can the people from other countries follow this? Or I stay in Riyadh. So I want to know about it.
Okay. I will, inshallah, try to tackle this question. Inshallah. Okay. Abdul Fattah, and he's calling from Yemen. His question is that he has a kafara, an expiation that requires a fasting of 2 consecutive months. So he's saying that I've started it, and now we're approaching Eid. And we know that Eid al-Adha, which is the 10th, and the 3 days of Tashriq, which are the 11th, 12th, and the 13th. So 4 days in a row, it is not permissible for a Muslim to fast them, generally speaking. So what to do? The answer is very easy. Akhi, your 60 days, you have to fast them in a row. But you can interrupt them if you have a legitimate reason. And among the legitimate reasons is that you must not fast Eid and the 3 days afterwards. So 4 days, enjoy eating and drinking. And if you fasted like 26 days, the balance is 34 days, for example. So you can stop the 4 days and then continue on the 5th day of Eid, the 35 days remaining, the balance. Also, if you get sick in Ramadan, if you get sick, really sick, that is an excuse for you to break the fast, you can interrupt these 60 days and continue after you get well. Also, if you have a legitimate business trip, not something you make up so that you can leave. If your company tells you that you have to go to Sa'da or you have to go to Ma'rib or wherever in Yemen, then you have to go. You may break your fast, and there's no problem in that, inshallah. Ashwaq, he had 2 questions in saying that when I go and I'm offering tamattu', I have to slaughter al-hadi. Qarin and mutamattu', they have to slaughter. So is udhiyah the same? For me, it's not mandatory for you. Okay, this is point 1. Now, is this slaughtering has the same rulings that I don't clip my fingernails and I don't cut my hair? Akhi, you're on your hajj. When you're wearing ihram, how are you expected, even if you intend to slaughter the hadi, to clip your hair or to clip your nails or your hair? You are in the ihram. This is by default that you should not touch any of these things until you, the day of Eid, when you make your tahallul. And he says that he heard that the only time that the Prophet ﷺ did not offer witr was in Muzdalifah. Is this correct? The answer is no. There is no authenticity to that. The Prophet ﷺ always offered witr. Humayra's last question, and then we have a couple of questions in the internet. We'll try to wrap it up, inshallah, in no time. She's saying that there is a website that talks about consumer goods. And I've seen a lot of emails from them, and it's getting a little bit overrated reputation because they're not as trustworthy in the sense of the information they provide. Sometimes they take the real extreme in making everything haram. And this is not correct. And I personally would advise you not to refer to them. Refer to the scholars, refer to the fatwa websites that would give you the true fatwa and the correct fatwa, inshallah. And as for us in Saudi Arabia, we live in paradise, alhamdulillah. Because all the consumers' goods that come to us must come through an agency that would check out everything that is being displayed. As for the credit cards, one of the sisters asked what to do. We have other alternatives. We have what is known as debit card, where you charge your card with $1,000 and you can buy whatever you want. Borrowing from the credit card is not permissible, because when you buy and you say, okay, I know that in 3 weeks' time I'm going to pay them off, you're borrowing from them. You're borrowing from someone who takes usury, who takes riba, who takes interest. And you don't guarantee that you would not fall sick and the grace period would come, would be over, and you have to pay this. So I advise you not to take credit cards except with very severe conditions. Muhammad Uthman, he's saying that in Salat al-Eid, Eid prayer, do we offer 2 rak'ahs of Tahiyyatul Masjid? If you're praying it in a masjid which is not recommended, yes, you cannot sit without praying 2 rak'ahs. But if you're praying in the musalla, in an open area, outdoors, then there is no Tahiyyatul Masjid. Tuba, I think it's Tawbah, but it's written like Tuba. It says that, can I share my good and bad experience and problems with a confidant that I have, a friend? And can I share with him my problems and tell him that my father-in-law did this, my neighbor did that, my colleague did this and that, and say the bad things about them? Or this is considered to be backbiting? Because if I don't talk to someone, I'd fall into depression and I'll be not a healthy person. The answer is no. You're not allowed to talk about bad things in people to others unless these people you're talking about are anonymous to them. So if I talk about XYZ to you, and I say XYZ did this and that, and you don't know who XYZ, I didn't give his real name. You just know that someone did bad things for me, this is halal. It's no problem. But just to sit and chit-chat and tell people about what happened to me, just to make me feel as if I'm in a therapy, this is not permissible, because you're backbiting people. He knows who I am talking about. Unless, as the Nawawi said in his commentary on Sahih Imam Muslim, there are 6 ways or reasons for backbiting someone, and this would not be backbiting. And I don't think we have time to mention them, but among them is when you go to a judge or to the police and you say, this man took my car. This is not backbiting. If you go to a mufti, I have a problem with my husband, or my wife or my brother, what to do, this or that. If someone is asking for advice, someone is proposing to his daughter, and he asks you, what do you think of Tom or Jerry or whatever? And you say, I know he's a drug addict. I know he doesn't pray. I know he has girlfriends, but I don't want to backbite. No, he's a good guy. This is haram. You have to tell him and warn him. And if you see someone going to a deviant alim, a deviant scholar, you just can't say, tough luck. No, you have to tell him that this scholar is deviant. He has problems in aqidah. Just to warn him, especially if he's doing it out of intention. And the last question is when people commit or watch acts of kufr. And this is from anonymous questioner. And he says that I leave the room. And when they ask me, they're my elders, they're my relatives, they're my friends, where are you leaving? Because they're doing something that is kufr or watching something that is kufr, I lie. So I say I have to go to the bathroom, I have to pick up a call. And I don't find the guts in me to tell them that what they're doing is wrong, because especially with my parents, I fear that they won't allow me to practice Islam anymore. Does this make me a kafir because I lied about my intention? I fear that I should, I fear that sounds like I said that I did not do that because I wanted to avoid kufr. Well, actually, this depends. If you are able in expressing your Islam and telling them your viewpoint, you have to do this. Allah Azza wa Jal says that you are now among the elite of all nations, the best of all nations, because you enforce or enjoin good and prevent evil and vice. And you believe in Allah. So this is why Allah Azza wa Jal exalted our status among all the other religions and nations, because we do this. So if you fail in doing this because you're just afraid, and this fear usually is something from shaitan. Allah Azza wa Jal says, إِنَّمَا ذَلِكُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ يُخَوِّفُ أَوْلِيَاءَهُ. Do not fear them, do not fear the Satan's allies, and fear me, the Almighty Azza wa Jal. So this is intimidation from Satan to you, so that you do not say what needs to be said. Don't fear anyone except Allah Azza wa Jal. Your parents love you, even if you change your religion. Once they see that you are behaving well and you are a better person, they may reject your religion for a while, but they'll accept you. So don't put a partition, don't put obstacles in the way of spreading your religion in your family and in your parents. You have to say it in a very diplomatic way, a very nice way, telling them that this is against what we believe in. It is un-Islamic to watch people mimicking prophets or ridiculing Allah Azza wa Jal or making fun of such and such. You explain it in a very nice way, and maybe they will understand. And if they don't, you have cleared their conscience, you have stated Allah's commandments to them and showed them the religion of Allah, and you've left the scene without joining them. And Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. This is all the time we have until we meet you next time. Fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep